I'm making this video simply for the reason that I said that I would make a video and post on Monday. And I find it unfortunate that when I launched this YouTube channel, that on the same day, like, the world kind of broke. And not that it's not even that this was like the first of its kind of an incident, and I'm speaking about George Floyd. And it's not that it's the first of its kind, but apparently this is the one that kind of broke the camel's back. And since Monday, which you know how brands are, like when you launch something, you gotta post pictures, you gotta ask questions, you gotta try to get engagement and all that type of stuff. But I just kind of felt like it really ain't the time for that. Like, I don't know that this is the time for that. I am broken. Like, I know everybody's like, oh, we're tired, but it's more than tired. It's more than tired. It's a brokenness that I feel. Because it's one thing to be tired, right? Like, you can get rest when you're tired. You can lay down. You can stop working. You can do, little things when you're tired. You can take an energy drink. You can drink some coffee. You can do, like, there's a remedy to tired. But brokenness is something that only God can fix. Brokenness is something that takes time to heal. It takes time to heal a broken person. It takes time to heal anything that's broken. Your TV breaks, it takes time to fix it. You gotta call somebody to fix it. Your car breaks, you gotta call somebody to fix that. Like, you gotta take it somewhere. It takes time to heal brokenness. And I think we're broken as a whole. And I've taken a strong stance as far as like my social media even comes into play. I'm not really a Facebook girl like that, but Facebook has really like kind of been like the spot where I'm able to like kind of post different things and say little stuff like this. But I want to be clear that I'm not okay with being somebody who tells other people to fight for them and not be somebody who's willing to join in on the fight. That would make me a hypocrite, and probably something else that I don't have a word for. I'm also not a fan of criticizing people while I do nothing. Like, if you can't say something, then don't tell someone else to not do something. I mean, you're not even saying anything. So why do you have an opinion on what I'm doing? And it's hard because, and I've had conversations recently where I've explained the why behind like a lot of the riots that are happening. Because here's the question that's being brought to me. Well, why burn down a building, or why tear up a building or a property, or these corporations? Like, why bother Target? And Target has insurance. Target also has a $79 billion revenue. They pretty much even out at about $70 billion a year. They can rebuild that store. They can replace everything that was in that store. We can't bring back lives. And people obviously don't care about the lives that are being taken. So they're thinking that they'll go the way of the people who stole this country. They stole the country. Then they had us build upon it. And they stole this country. And then they stole us. They stole black people. They stole Africans. They stole doctors, nurses, scientists, mothers, fathers, teachers, children, engineers, mathematicians. They stole those people. Then they brought them over here and made them build it for free. Not for free. They made them build it for their lives. Everything this country was based off of comes from the ideas of rioting and looting. They wanted to be free from the British, so they stole a bunch of tea and tossed it in the water and had a fight about that. Even in that war, they had black people fighting that war to help them gain independence. Those people were still not considered human, but they used us for that fight, as they still continue to do. They burned crosses in yards because they didn't want the people to live there. They burned down houses, tossed dynamite, blew up our churches. Churches were the one place that we felt that we had some safety, and they would burn them while we were in there. Then eventually they let us free, gave us some freedom papers, and then they decided that they would find a way to get people to still be able to build their country for free. So now we have the prison system, and disproportionately, black people are imprisoned, and for longer time frames. So I think we're just broken. And I believe that there comes a time where something has to change and something has to be done. It's unfortunate because we aren't asking for anything other than being able to feel like we can walk outside and make it home. See, while you're asking about Target, there's something to say about being in relation to black people. I'll even focus specifically on black men, even though it is it's non-gender biased. They will kill black women too. They do. But there's something to not knowing where a black man is at any given time of the day. There's a worry, a weight that you feel knowing that your black man, whether it's your son, whether it's your cousin, whether it's your friend, whether it's your husband, whether it's your dad, whether it's your uncle, knowing that you don't know where your black man is right at that moment. When they don't answer their phone or they don't respond to your text, especially if it's like at night, you're kind of just like, where are you? Text me back, call me, make sure you let me know when you get home. I need to know that you're safe. I need to know you made it in alive. It's not just we're not just policing them like, where you at? I want to know where you're going. It's not that. I need to know you're alive. I need to know that you're safe. I need to know that wherever you are, like, you're okay. And that's a weight that you can't get rid of. I know a lot of people are not condoning the rioting or the looting or anything like that, but you have a better solution. See, I prefer people who give me solutions to problems, not just telling me that there's a problem. I prefer people who will say, here is the problem and here's a solution that I have for it. Because if you're not giving me a solution and you're just giving me problems, then you're just giving me problems, and I don't need more problems. Our lives are worth more than the stuff that y'all are talking about. Our pain is worth more than the stuff that y'all are talking about. And as a believing woman, you know that little meme that's going around like, hey, white people, or non-people of color, I'm watching your silence. I don't care nothing about y'all's silence. I don't care nothing about their silence. I don't care. Their silence just lets me know where they stand. I am around people who will compliment me on singing and just being so like whatever they think I am. I love your voice. I love how you look. I love how you like put stuff together. You're just so sweet. You're just so da 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 da. I miss your face. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because that gives me the illusion that you care about me. But now that you see that I'm grieving for my culture, for my people, you have nothing to say, which lets me know, which is fine, because it lets me know where you stand. It lets me know that you don't care about me, that you don't miss me, that you don't really feel like you're doing life with me, because I grieve for people. I have empathy for people. So when people are in pain or when people are hurting, I hurt with them. And I let them know that I hurt with them. I let them know that they can come to me. I let them know that I'm okay with listening to them. But if they've said nothing, then that lets me know the same thing. That just lets me know that I cannot come to you either. It lets me know that I can't come to you. It lets me know that I'm really not all that safe with you. And I'm cool with that because I like to know who I'm safe with. I participated in the protest that was in Jacksonville yesterday. This comes out on Monday, so on Saturday. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was so many different people, so many different like cultures, so many different nationalities, and they were all on the same page. We marched around downtown Jacksonville. And they chanted, and they had signs, and they rallied together, and they de-escalated situations beautifully, smoothly. I watched a few. We marched around downtown. So I was there. I was so proud of them. I was like, oh, Jacksonville, this is great. This is great. Right after I left is when the riot broke out. They were peaceful, but the police, I'm assuming, were ready to go home, or ready for them to go home. And I watched, when I left, I got on to someone's live that was there, and I watched them throw that tear gas into that crowd. And I watched those women and men cry and choke on tear gas that were literally walking by me. And we're just broken, man. Like, we're just broken. And I ask myself, because a lot of people will talk to me out of fear, out of their own fear. For me, sure, their fear. I just ask myself, as much as I love the Lord, what would he be doing right now? Maybe he wouldn't be rioting. Maybe he wouldn't be looting. But he'd be upset. And he would be grieving with us. And he would be standing with us. And he would not be quiet. I think so much better of Jesus than I think a lot of other people do. I think y'all think Jesus was quiet. I think y'all think Jesus was not a troublemaker. And I just sometimes question what Jesus y'all believe in, because he wasn't a sinner, but he definitely stirred up trouble for his day. That was the whole point. He wanted to challenge the status quo. He wanted to bring justice where there was none. So I have to assume, based off of what the Bible says about him, based off what the Bible says about who he is and his character, that he would not idly sit back and watch the pain that is happening to his people and stay silent. I have to assume that he would not sit on a couch and do nothing or criticize the people who are doing something. I just believe that at the least of this, he would be trying to bring comfort to the people who are in pain, because that just goes along with what the Bible says about him. See, it's all about his character. And I don't think y'all truly know the character of Jesus, because Jesus wept for his people. He wept for Lazarus, knowing that he was going to bring him back. He wept for him. He wept with his people. He wept with his friends, knowing that he was going to bring him back. He didn't have to cry, but he grieved with them. He empathized with them, with their pain, because he knew that they didn't know that he was going to bring them back. He knew that they didn't know what he was going to do, what his plan was. He wept with them, knowing the end result. He knew that Lazarus was going to get back up. He knew that Lazarus was going to be triumphant. And yet he wept with them for his friend. For his friend. Some of y'all are calling us y'all's friends. Y'all are going on with your lives. We are weeping. It's something else to feel that. It's something about not knowing if you'll make it home from a trip to a store, from a walk down the street. It's something to not know the intent of the people who have authority over you. It's something to not know if you're going to meet up with somebody on the wrong day. And that is what allows you to not make it to see the next day. And it's a fear that a lot of you will never have, but it's a fear that we hold. It's a weight that we hold that we can't get rid of. And right now, the world is feeling it because we don't want to be broken anymore. We don't want to feel that anymore. We're tired of feeling the weight that we didn't give ourselves. We're tired of feet being on our necks. We're tired of that pained feeling in the bottom of our gut. It's just a lie. It's a lie. And right now, my city is under curfew. They put the curfew out at 7 p.m. and told people that they had an hour to get home. They had a few exclusions from that, but they gave people an hour to get home, and they sent that message out via our cell phones. And so I was already out somewhere. I was somewhere prior to this, and we got that while we were there. And now, predominantly Black people were there. And now, yet again, we're anxious. Because we know that if they stop us, if we don't get to where we're going at 8 o'clock, if they stop us now, we might be next. We might be in trouble. We might be in jail if we don't hurry and get to where we're trying to go. Get back home. And it's just, we've never seen anything like this. And I just believe that what's going to come out of this is going to be better than anything that we've ever seen. At least, I'm hopeful. Because this has not happened before. What's happening now, the fight that's happening now, has never happened before. And I don't know how much we can say it. I don't even know if people even care for us to keep telling them that Black Lives Matter. But it's still so important to say. I'm praying for my country. I'm praying for Black people. And I'm praying that we get some rest. That we get the justice that other people are giving. Nobody wants to be angry all the time. Nobody wants to have to be alert all the time. I want the freedom that everybody else has. The freedom to not be concerned about everything at every time. I want that freedom that so many people have that I wasn't given. Simply because my mom and my dad are both Black. And yet and still, even with that, I still thank God that He decided to create me exactly how He did. I'm glad that He put me in a household that told me that every shade of us is beautiful. That every shade of Black is beautiful. I'm glad He put me in a family of a rainbow of Black. From the lightest to the darkest, I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he gave me these people to call family. I'm glad he's given me friends that look like a rainbow of brown. I'm so glad that he allowed me to be brought up by educated people who taught me that my black was beautiful, that I was beautiful, that to not let anyone tell me that because of how I look or my skin color that I wasn't just as good. I'm glad that God put me in a family of people, of educated people who my first books were about Harriet Tubman and Martin Luther King and so many other historic black people. I'm glad that they taught me that we were good. I'm glad that I was brought up in a black church so that I could know that even in the midst of all of this, God is still on my side. That God does have the final say so. And that I am one of his chosen people. That I am important to him. That I am whole in him. And that he feels my pain. And that Jesus is literally praying for me and for us right now. Because he hears our pain. And because the Bible says that when we cry out to him, when we cry, that he hears us and he will answer us and that he will come to our rescue. And I'm just grateful that the Lord hears my cry. And I know a lot of people will feel a lot of ways about whatever I've said. And I'm keeping this short because I don't want to go into every detail about every person who has gotten on my nerves this past week and everything that people have brought up that will take focus or shift blame. I don't want to talk about none of that. So yeah. So everybody, that's all I have to say. I pray that everyone stays safe. Make it home tonight. And I love you. I love us. And we will overcome.